Welcome to your Race Wreck Supercross preview show, round 4 Monster Energy Supercross coming your way this weekend from O.Co Coliseum in Oakland, California. I'm Jason Weigandt, not joined by the booze bottles and bar that were behind me in previous shows. Why? Well, because these days in Supercross, we drink from the fountain of youth. Yes, a banner night celebrating 40 years of the championship at Anaheim 2, headlined by 2 of the 20 riders plus on hand that had won this title before, battling for the victory. Improbably, Chad Reed comes out on top. It's not just amazing that he did it, but how he did it, going through the fastest riders of 2014 to prove he is indeed one of the fastest riders of 2014. Now, Chad Reed at age 31 taking the victory. Is that amazing? Well, let's just let the stats speak for themselves. There have been 575 main events run in the history of this championship, and only 9 times has a rider over the age of 30 crossed the checkered first. And that's only 4 different riders who have done that. Kevin Windham did it a few times, Mike LaRocco twice, John Dowd, and now Chad Reed. Just 4 names ever as 30-something AMA Supercross main event winners. That is some rare air for Chad Reed, and it now looks like they might not be done. Because if we're all believing in Chad Reed at this point, you can guarantee you he believes it himself. If there's one lesson we can point out for the kids out there, it's be stubborn. Chad always believes that he can do this. He did 3 years ago when we counted him out and he won a bunch of races on a Honda. He's done it again here in 2014 on a Kawasaki. Lots more news coming your way in this show, but we want to give an update on a couple of the riders who are hoping to get into that top 5. And it's a little cold on the East Coast, so why not bring in some Georgia sunshine in Southern California? Here's Georgia Lindsay with a couple of top riders. Georgia?
You've had some kind of cool battles with Ken Roczen. Obviously, he's the rookie this season, but the last few years you've actually lived with him, and you've kind of brought him to where he is as well since he's been in the United States. So how have you been kind of racing with him?
It's been interesting this year. There's a lot of rookies, Will Hahn, Kenny, and it'll be really interesting when Eli gets into the class. So there's some new blood, new people to race with. Kenny's been really impressive. See where he's finished, the maturity that he's ridden with, and it's fun to race with him, obviously, because he's a cool kid and he races really clean, but he does some amazing things on the track.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Andrew.
We're a first-year effort, and everyone just trying to figure out, where their place is and what their role is in the team has been kind of difficult, but now we're up and rolling. Everything's going great. Like I said, we had a couple main events that we weren't able to finish out because of some issues, but we're working through them and the team's getting better and better each weekend. So.
Well, you've also got not only to concentrate on your racing and your riding, but you're also dealing with a lot of the managerial things in the team too.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough because I've had a lot of personal relationships with the sponsors that are sponsoring the team. So now that I'm in a position where I kind of helped start this team along with Chris Crossland and Jim Lewis at Merge Racing. Now it's kind of like me being the rider, I'm trying to put the duties onto other people. So it's been interesting.
Matt Goerke, now unfortunately for you, you actually had a broken finger just at the beginning of the season. It's been tough for you to actually be riding, but you are, and you're having to use a different clutch finger, so this must be kind of technical for you.
Yeah, definitely. The season didn't start out how I planned. Got injured at the first race, broke my finger, got surgery on it, and luckily I've been able to race the last 2 weeks and get some points, but just hanging in there. And yeah, it's hard switching from this finger to the middle one for the clutch. So.
Well, I mean, it's something you automatically do all the time you ride a bike. You use that same finger, and having a swap must be difficult, but you haven't been able to get too much practice in during the week, have you?
Nah, I can't practice during the week, just racing on the weekend and dealing with the pain.
Well, still making those mains, Matt. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Weston Peick, last weekend, Anaheim 2 was an awesome race for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome. I haven't had the best start of the season with DNF first round and then a crash in Phoenix. And, I just had to finish the round and, get out of there alive and not crash or make any bad mistakes. So it was definitely a good finish.
Well, you've been working seriously hard with your team as well, kind of putting things together yourself. But coming out with these results, I mean, last year you definitely had some good results, but last weekend was just something, completely different for you.
Yeah, definitely. We put the new team together this year with Motorsport.com, Fly Racing, and then Pike Racing as well. So it's been a great effort. We've been busting our butts every single weekend trying to make changes and make the bike better. So it's been really good.
All right, thanks, Georgia. Have fun out there on the trip from SoCal to NorCal this weekend. No matter where you are in California, they have been experiencing an incredible drought, even by California standards. However, is there a chance there will be some rain this weekend? Not of the traditional sense. Talking about James Stewart. Seems to like Oakland. He's won 2 out of the 3 events run in recent memory there. Also had some success the previous stop of the tour in the Bay Area in San Francisco. And a solid run for James to finish second last week at Anaheim. He's actually starting to close back in on the points lead just a little bit. So let's go to our reigning yellow expert, Steve Matthes. He believes there's something different in James Stewart this year, and maybe, considering 59 out of the 60 main event laps have been run clean so far, maybe Steve is right, as much as it pains me to say that. Here's more from Matthes.
Thanks, Weege. Here we are in the headquarters of Pulp MX, not far from the Vegas Strip. You want to talk about Stewart? You want me to talk about James Stewart? Well, he is different this year. I've gone on the record of saying it more than a few times. James is just being a little under the radar this year, and if you look at his finishes so far, yeah, he crashed out of A1, but it was a patient crash out of A1. He wasn't trying to do anything silly. Phoenix, he was feeling under the weather. He took a 4th. Anaheim 2, still not feeling 100%, took a 2nd. You want to talk about being different? How about him having a conversation with Chad Reed on the podium after Reed catches and passes him for the win? That's different. What about those boots? I've tried to embrace those boots. It's not working out. Those are different. I don't know what's going on there, but those are different. It's been a quiet 2014 Supercross season for James Stewart, but certainly this weekend I think we may see a different guy. He's had success in Oakland before. He likes going up there. The dirt is a little bit different than the Anaheims and the Phoenix that we've seen. A little more traction for guys like Stu. I think this could be the weekend, Weege. I think this weekend we'll see the different James Stewart break out and win in a different way. Do it, James. Be different this weekend. Make it rain. Rain yellow.
Okay, that's Steve Matthes, hoping something is different this weekend, although that might look the same for James Stewart since he's won in Oakland quite a bit. A lot of other riders to talk about. We've done our best to say it's all about the old guys in this series, but we cannot deny the points leader is a teenager. Ken Roczen is back in the points lead. That is unbelievable, the poise and the consistency he has shown. He could be here for the long haul. Don't forget we've got a apparently angry Ryan Dungey who is running into people all over the place. Ryan Villapoto, who's going to be angry just because he's no longer the points leader again. And a lot of other riders in the mix like Justin Brayton, who's done a great job the last couple weeks, and Justin Barcia, who needs to rebound. But more on Barcia later. Also, let's throw a shout out to our 250cc riders. Cole Seeley has wrestled the points lead away from Jason Anderson. These two have been in that proverbial shooting free throws competition, waiting to see who's going to be the one to really miss. A little bit of a bad night for Anderson, but not terrible there in Anaheim. Will one of them have the really bad one? That could really throw the points up in the air. Now, we mentioned Barcia before. Well, he's at Oakland already for press day.
Season's been going all right. I try to look past the first couple of rounds, honestly, because they just haven't been that great for me. But, we've been putting a lot of work at the test track and dialing in the bike and getting the little problems solved out of the way of the first few rounds. And, we're here in Oakland, and, it's kind of a time to turn the season around now, better than later for me. Last year I won early in Phoenix, and, trying to pick up on that here in Oakland. Yeah, to change what's been going on, I think a start will change my whole season. So if I can get a whole shot, and I've been working on that a lot and getting the bike dialed for that. So I think, a good jump off the gate and get out front will change a lot of things for me, because I really haven't put myself in good positions lately. The track's not fully done yet, but just looking at the dirt gets me a little excited, because we've been in Anaheim and and Phoenix, and the dirt there is not good at all. So to be here in Oakland, the dirt looks a lot better, and excited to go out there and ride a little bit and start turning my season around. It's early, but it's a long series, and I got some work to do. No, I actually I try to stay away from the internet stuff. I'm pretty much Instagram, Twitter guy, but yeah, I didn't see that. That's pretty comical. Hey, that's what I like. That's racing. It's fun, but hey, I don't think he's gonna. I don't know. That's funny. It's just racing. I mean, I think he was a little butthurt and stuff about the pass I put on him, or the pass he tried to pass me, but it was just for him bad timing, I believe. And he stood me up good last weekend, but that's racing, and no crying about that. Let's go bang bars.
Now, Barcia actually started the year out great, won that heat race at Anaheim 1, and who won the other heat race? It really wasn't memorable. Who won the other heat race besides Barcia and Anaheim 1? Yeah, I think you all know it was Mike Alessi. But much like Barcia, we have not seen those types of fireworks since. Let's see what Mike's got up his sleeve for this weekend in Oakland.
As far as sickness, I mean, it's pretty bad this past week. Leading into Anaheim, I was pretty bad. Like, couldn't ride all week. Wasn't sleeping hardly at all. Going to the doctor, try to get some antibiotics, and just trying to get better, honestly. But struggled through the weekend, but feeling a lot better this weekend. Well, once I get better, which it should be now, fighting back into the top 10, being in those single digits, that's where the goal is, honestly, is to be, the top 10 and trying to be close to the top 5. Working with Michael Burns has been a huge success for not just me, but also our whole team. We've been making big improvements on the motorcycle, technique in the off season. And it's funny that you asked that. I was just thinking about that the other day. It's just all the preparation I did in the off season, it came together real well, and I showed that at Anaheim 1. And then I go into Phoenix and Anaheim 2, and I just completely revert right back to my old ways. So it's all about just remembering and thinking all the time, what I've learned and applying it on the racetrack and doing it on race day. Oh, great memories. Last year, I got a great start, finished, I believe I was 4th or 5th in the main event last year. So I had pretty good success here and rode good last year. So I know my bike setup is really good right now. I feel good on the motorcycle now that I'm getting healthy again, and my sickness is just about over. Should have good results here. I had good results here in the past, so it should be good.
All right, that's Mike Alessi. And one final step in the show, the whole Muscle Makana team is up there in Oakland early, not just Barcia, but Trey Canard. Let's get a little injury update from the number 41.
Kind of standard, broke my radius, my left radius, and usually a pretty simple thing, but I broke it into a couple pieces, and when it came back, when they put it back together, it didn't go back together like a puzzle piece, so there was some empty spot that I had to fill in, so taking a little bit longer than your average radius break, but should be good to go in a couple weeks to start riding, and kind of see where it goes from there. I'm in no hurry. I mean, I've missed half the series by then, so I might as well just kind of take my time and make sure that I come back ready and healthy and able to race with those guys. It's been exciting, with just 3 different winners that's about as good as you can start a series out. And really, you kind of watch a race and there's your favorites, but you don't know really who's going to come through that night. So it's awesome. I think it's great for our sport. It's hard to miss out on it, but I'm looking forward to coming back and taking part in it. And I don't know, as a fan, it's been really enjoyable to watch. Me and the wife just, when we watch them, we're cheering and yelling, and it's cool to see.
All right, and that's going to do it for our show. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the riders who were able to lend us some time and provide their insight into this championship. I'm Jason Weigandt. We'll see you this weekend. Don't forget RaceRexOnline.com for all your coverage of Monster Energy Supercross.